it's very important, rather than always going to look for countries to fund these facilities. Otherwise, we will not get anywhere. When you look at the long-term plan, the industrial plan that is almost done, realize that half of the electricity that will be produced can actually be consumed by the industries, in industrial establishment. And then the remaining half probably by households and also some for exports, etc., etc. So you have to look at the comprehensive plan and the electric vehicles, the rate they are coming up by 2040. Currently about 2.6 million vehicles. By 2040, within the high case scenario, there will be 9 million vehicles. If 20% of them are running on electric vehicle.
On there, so that then I'll come back to you for you to give your closing remarks. Yes.
Where's the hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. If I got your question right, I think you were talking about sustainability in the entire African region. Is that not it? And I wonder how we could tackle this without the risk of sounding a bit political. I think what Africa should do as a continent is to redefine their priorities in terms of energy. Because if you take each African country, they have different competitive advantage in terms of sources of energy. Somebody even mentioned geothermal, which is remote from me. I haven't seen any geothermal source before. So, and Congo is even on record that the bombs that were used for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the uranium came from Congo DR. So you can see, an African Development Bank is dead. If it comes to nuclear, the money we are talking about our competitive advantage in terms of sources. And I said that I cannot say this without the risk of sounding political. It comes to what Nkrumah started. Africa must come together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that...
And there will always be the big players and the small players. We always have need for support. Now, if I'm a development partner supporting you and I keep hearing competitive, in my subconscious mind, I'll be looking at what interest of mine are you going to conflict. Thereby, it will lead to frustrating you to achieve that. How we communicate our development ambitions matters. And I foresee that the change will have to be driven by the citizenry. So it's going to be both a bottom-up and top-down approach. And this is where I will want, for instance, media partners to measure their success. What we want to achieve will then have to be based on a conviction of common interests. If we have that, there would be minimal effort to frustrate the development goals. It can't spread its tentacles for growth. That will mean, however it's communicated, the world should know that it is in the absolute interest of the global community that Africa don't only develop in its basic infrastructure, but advance. And that is what is going to facilitate the integration. So it ends up in a win-win. The big player wins, the small player wins. And in sustaining it, we will have to make sure that there is a clear plan to impart and hand over a baton to next generation. And I ended with this question. What happened to the selfless passion of nation building that pre-independence and new explorations? Now, out of that, 18% is from Africa. Namibia is doing 7%, Niger is doing 4%, South Africa is doing 5%, Botswana and Tanzania are doing 1% each. What is the infrastructure in place to ensure this mining benefits Africa? And there's something that is going on already. And Egypt is prospecting, Algeria is prospecting, Senegal is prospecting, Ghana, there are traces, but we've not made any efforts to prospect for uranium deposits. So Africa holds a lot and sustain it. Thank you.
Is one. The other one, which I said earlier, is we can have.
Before the Russia-Ukraine war, nuclear was demonized. And I hold a slightly different view. I think before that time, what the situation was that there was over-concentration, all right, on the negatives without projecting the positive that nuclear portends. But with the onset of the Russia-Ukraine war, now people have realized that there are a lot of positives, there are a lot of benefits that nuclear portends for all of us in terms of energy supply, reliability, and even environmental friendliness. And for us as Africans, whether we like it or not, this new wave, this new transition into clean energy.
Take his closing statement. And Kelvin, you have 1 minute. You have 1. African continent are actually convened by foreigners. It's become an activity on their calendar. So the agendas that are put forward are not about Dubai. The structures that Dubai has in place to create an investment climate, that this discussion doesn't end here. That especially because of where Africa is today, and some of the things that have happened between COP27 is happening in November, COP26, some of the discussions that were had, that within a year, the way things are with the discussion and move forward. But our continent needs us, our countries need us, and it's up to this. I want to thank our panelists for their time and coming.
Grabbing the hard copy might be quite a challenge for you. Just subscribe to the digital Youth Day on the 24th of October as part of the Ghana Economic Forum. And this is where we bring so many young people across all 16 regions of Ghana. We bring them here, they converge here, we have discussions with them as the youth from beginning to the end, and then they get the opportunity to also interact with the dignitaries present. So please mark your calendars. GEF, Ghana Economic Forum, 25th to 26th October. Just keep following us on all our social media platforms so that you can quickly pin us when the time is getting near. We are BFT Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on LinkedIn and YouTube. We are the Business and Financial Times. Thank you so much for coming for today's event. We really appreciate that you've stayed through till the last session. We are so grateful. Thank you. God bless you. My name is Baba.